This is a short video with some information about how to set up problems that require doing unit conversions, which you'll also see sometimes labeled as dimensional analysis. If you feel comfortable doing something like this, you may not need to watch this video, but we will do a significant number of problems that require you to convert between two different units or have a good understanding about the relationship between units. So this is an important video for the foundation of what we'll be looking at going forward. So the relationships between units, a lot of which we saw in the SI unit video, are called conversion factors. And since we did see some with the prefixes in an earlier video, I want to use one that is not like that. So something that will get us between English units and SI units is the fact that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. So writing it equal to each other, this is a relationship between these two units. It's like an identity in that 1 inch and 2.54 centimeters are the exact same thing. So if I were to write 1 inch over 2.54 centimeters, now my units don't cancel or anything here, but this is equal to 1, right? They're the same quantity, but with different units on them, which means that this is also the same as writing 2.54 centimeters over 1 inch. So these are the two ways that you will see conversion factors used or written in this sort of fraction form. And the way that you use it depends on what type of conversion you need to do. So for example, if you had a measurement of 12.5 inches and you wanted to find out how many centimeters that measurement was, the way that you can set up your conversion is if you took 12.5 inches and you multiplied it by 2.54 centimeters over 1 inch, you get an answer that's numerically the same because it's like, not numerically, but you get an answer that is quantitatively the same because you're multiplying it by 1, but you'll get a numerical value in centimeters because if you have inches divided by inches, those units will cancel out. And if you multiply through the numbers on the top and divide by everything you multiply through on the bottom, you get 31.8 centimeters. So 31.8 centimeters is the same length as 12.5 inches. We've just expressed it in different units. Now, if you were given the 31.8 centimeters and asked to convert that into inches, you would want 1 inch over 2.54 centimeters, because centimeters divided by centimeters would cancel out. And if you did 31.8 times 1, that's across the top, and then you divide by 1 times 2.54, you get 12.5 inches, which hopefully you would expect. Since when we converted from inches to centimeters, we started with 12.5 inches and got 31.8 centimeters. Okay, so this is one step in doing a unit conversion. You may find that you need to do multiple steps, and so this setup can also be adapted or also works really well for doing multi-step conversions. All right, so I'm going to give you an example problem. I'm going to give you some known values, but what you will find, I'm going to say 99% of the time is that you will need to go look up the conversions you need. And as long as you have valid ones, I don't care which ones you use. You just have to make sure that they are valid. So for this example, let's convert 1.76 yards to centimeters. And I have to give you a couple of conversions here. Some known conversions is that 1 meter is equal to 1.094 yards. And honestly, I might just give you something like this, but you can see that we don't have anything with centimeters listed here, but centi is one of those prefixes that goes with SI units. And if we look that up, 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. All right, so I'm given 1.76 yards, and the only conversion I have that will get me out of yards is that 1 meter is 1.094 yards. So I have yards in the top and in the bottom, so those will cancel. And if I were to stop here, I would get an answer in meters, but I actually want an answer in centimeters. So rather than stopping here, if I've kept track of my units carefully, I can tack on the next conversion factor and essentially do all of this in one step. So I need to get rid of meters and I need to get into centimeters. So 100 centimeters goes on top, 1 meter on the bottom. Meters cancel, and so my answer across the top, I'm going to have 1.76 times 1 times 100. And then the bottom, I've got 1 times 1.094 times 1. So I won't write in any of those ones. This is what I need to do in the end. So multiply across the top, take that number, divide by whatever you get from multiplying across the bottom. And here I get 160.8775. It's kind of crazy. Centimeters. Let's add in, let's say I wanted this with the correct number of significant figures. My 1.76 yards has 3 sig figs. And my conversion factors are exact numbers. So these don't contribute at all to my sig figs as I'm carrying them through. My answer, therefore, should have 3 significant figures. So I cut it off at the 0. And I got an 8 after that, so I need to round up. It's going to be 161 centimeters if we do it with proper sig figs. Now, this was just to build some depth into our example. I will always, in other problems, tell you explicitly when you need to use significant figures. Okay. Example 2. Convert 5.70 liters to cubic inches. Well, this is an interesting one. So known values. 1 cubic centimeter is equal to 1 milliliter. 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. This is from that prefix. And 2.54 centimeters is equal to 1 inch. So my 5.70 liters, I'm going to get to cubic inches. So my connection between inches and one of the SI units is centimeters. So it looks like I need to get to centimeters or something related to centimeters first, which I have this 1 centimeter cubed equals 1 milliliter. So my first step is going to be 1,000 milliliters is equal to 1 liter. My liters will cancel. I'll be in milliliters, which means I can say 1 cubic centimeter is equal to 1 milliliter. And then there are, for every 1 inch, 2.54 centimeters. But this, so my mils cancel, this doesn't work out quite the way that we would expect it to, right? Centimeters cubed, if I try to cancel that with centimeters, I would still have centimeters squared in the top. And centimeters squared times inches is weird and it doesn't make sense, and it's not the unit that we're trying to get to. So if I want to cancel cubic centimeters, I need to have cubic centimeters. So whenever you are canceling units like this, where it's more than one dimension, if it was squared, you would square the conversion factor. In this case, it's cubed. We need to cube our conversion factor in order to get proper units, right? Because now centimeters cubed and centimeters cubed will cancel, and I'll be left with inches cubed. And in this case, numerically, that'll be 347.84 inches cubed. All right, just to expand this a little bit, let's do this in a different color. So this part of the conversion right here, if you're having trouble seeing it, where we were at 1 cubic centimeter per 1 mil, think about it as 1 centimeter times centimeter times centimeter, meaning that I need a conversion factor for each one of these. So 1 inch over 2.54 centimeters cancels 1. I have 2 left. If I do it again, cancels the second one. So I have to do it one more time to cancel the third one. So these 3 together, it's the same as saying that conversion factor cubed, which means you actually have to cube the 2.54 in the denominator of your final answer, or your numbers will be off.